I just love that open. Dr. Colorado, author of Denver Landmarks and Historic Districts, keeps tabs on Denver landmarks, old and new. And this morning, he shares some of the most fascinating ones with us. He believes Colorado's reborn landmarks are something not to miss. Good to have you on the show.
But here's my favorite human landmark.
Oh, I just
Plant.
love Dr. Colorado. You're so sweet. What makes local landmarks important to note in our history books?
Oh, I think it's so important, you know, with this radical change, constant demolition, changing times, that we have some stability, some remembrances from the past still standing.
And you have, talk about some of the most unusual preservation project maybe that you and your students have worked on, because you've been doing this for a long time and you've worked on a lot of different projects.
One right now is Loretto Heights. Out on South Federal, you know, which is a huge landmark tower there, but it's not officially landmarked yet.
What are some of the concerns?
And it's up for sale, and we don't know what a new owner might do, knock it down and put up some condos or whatnot.
No. So that's a major concern, the fate of Loretto Heights then. What's the most controversial preservation projects that you've been working on?
Well, to go back to Loretto Heights, one of the things there is the Sisters of Loretto, who taught here ever since 1864. They're buried there. And what will happen to that little cemetery if they develop the site?
They can't do that, can they?
They can at this point, so it's a matter of figuring out a way to protect those sisters.
Well, can we call the governor or something and get it
You should call, yeah.
I'm serious.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Governor Hickenlooper, what are we doing? Talk about what seems to be the most popular recent preservation project.
Oh, I think without a doubt, Union Station.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
which was
it's
empty
beautiful.
for so long, and now it's just jammed with people night and day.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I know during the holidays, a lot of people went to Union Station. And it was beautiful, too, all lit up and gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, that light in the tree inside as well as all the lights outside are fabulous.
Hey, let's go back a little bit. We're looking at Union Station right now, but I know you were talking about the Loretto Heights for the most controversial preservation project. There's another one that we have to talk about. We're going to show a picture here of a soldier.
Right, this is the statue of the Civil War soldier in front of the state capitol. And at the base of that statue, Denise, it lists the battles. And one of the battles listed is the Sand Creek, which was not a battle, it was a massacre. Everybody agrees with that. The National Park Service calls it a massacre site now. And some people suggested, well-intentioned, that we take that off. And at that point, the state, History Colorado, had the good sense to talk to the Indians. Let's see what the Arapaho and the Cheyenne feel about it.
Right.
And they said, no. Don't erase Sand Creek. We want you to remember you called Sand Creek a massacre, and it was a massacre. So they've had the good sense to leave that statue alone.
So very interesting. What about the longest preservation landmark? We have a picture here that we're going to show.
Yeah, I think it would be City Ditch, which is long and narrow. And wanders. The only place you see it open anymore is here it is, Smith's Ditch, later bought by the city of Denver, now the City Ditch owned by Denver Water. And it flows all the way out to City Park and fills up Farrell Lake out there. It used to be open throughout Capitol Hill, but little kids would get in it and play mud balls.
Oh, yeah.
And get all muddy and dirty. Their mothers didn't like it. And then one day a very plump woman, inebriated, fell into it and dammed up City Ditch.
Are you kidding me?
And flooded.
A very plump woman, as you put it?
and flooded part of Capitol Hill, so at that point they buried it.
It was a human dam?
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
And you can see it right here along Spear. There's a pipe that goes underneath, I think, the Downing Street Bridge. That's actually City Ditch.
How do you know this stuff? How did you know she was plump? What is Colorado's tallest reborn landmark?
I think that would have to be the tower at Stapleton Airport, which has been abandoned for 15 years. Finally, the social club, the Punch Bowl Social Club's moved in there and fixing it up. Although I don't think they figured out what to do with the full tower yet.
Yeah. You know, we have a conference coming up. It's the Saving Places Conference. Tell me a little bit about it.
This is wonderful. It's been going for about 20 years now, and up to 700, 800 people come from all over the state to talk about preservation and all the technical angles, how you restore window panes, how you do this and that, how to landmark things. The public is invited. It's at the Colorado Convention Center.
Good. Well, I hope the subject of Loretto Heights comes up, certainly.
Right. One of our students is going to talk about that.
Oh, good,
try
good.
to build up support for these. You know, the sisters are dying out. There aren't many left to take care of that cemetery.
What about you? Are you going to speak there?
Yeah, I'm lucky to have the student panel again, where we get our star CU Denver students, and they talk about whatever project they're working on.
Oh, that's wonderful. Quickly, we just have about 20 seconds left. Denver Landmarks and Historic Districts. That's your latest book. Where can we find it?
Right, and it's great. People people don't realize, I think there are 350 historic individual landmarks, something like 53 historic districts in Denver now. Union Station, Lodo is probably the best known one.
Well, it was so great having you on the show. You're just a wealth of knowledge. Thank you for coming on. Again, you can check out dr-colorado.com for our Tom's tours and talks, books and classes. Colorado Preservation Inc.'s Saving Places Conference is happening January 31st through February 3rd at the Colorado Convention Center. On Friday, February 2nd at 3:45, that's when the good Dr. Colorado chairs a panel with his students discussing their preservation projects. Register at savingplacesconference.org.